Heavily armed militants stormed this Kabul guesthouse used by several international organisations, including the United Nations. And the Taliban warned of more bloodshed in the lead-up to the second round of voting in the Afghan elections. UN High Commission for Refugees spokesman Peter Kessler says there's great concern about the increasing number of attacks on aid workers.
They often realize that, well, there's the UN, there's the aid community, they are symbols of what I feel is wrong with this situation. They are symbols of perhaps Western involvement. I'll target them.
UNHCR has lost 3 aid workers in Pakistan this year, including a Serbian national who died in the bombing of a luxury hotel in Peshawar in June. The attack on the guesthouse in Kabul contributes to a grim year in the region for the UN. 5 aid workers died in Pakistan in early October in a bombing of the World Food Programme's offices in Islamabad. World Food Programme senior spokeswoman Carolyn Herford.
We've lost staff in Somalia, we've now lost staff in Pakistan, we've had injuries elsewhere, so we are very much aware of this dilemma, because our mandate is to try to get out to some of the most remote and dangerous regions where people really need our help.
Some charities are replacing international aid workers with local nationals in an effort to reduce attacks. Heather Hughes is a security advisor with the charity group Oxfam.
Our ability to sort of be out in the countryside and to be outside of Kabul has significantly decreased. We are much less able to travel freely than we were even sort of 2 years ago.
UNHCR officials say their mandate is unchanged, but how the agency operates in conflict zones is evolving.
Clearly, we have to ensure that while we don't scale back the aid effort, that in situations that are tenuous, that only the most vitally needed staff, the staff doing the most important work, are exposed to threats.
Aid officials say their agencies are impartial, operating independently of any military force. But some agencies do work in partnership with armed forces. The Netherlands and NATO provided naval escorts to secure the World Food Programme's route into Somalia late last year. Carolyn Herford says it was a matter of life or death for millions of Somalis.
Of course, it's not necessarily a good thing to be accompanied by the military, but if it's a question of getting food there or not, and helping out the hungry or not, I think that it's worthwhile.
Once on dry land, the risk to humanitarians is great. Reaching the displaced and the desperate in Somalia means travelling through hostile, unstable regions. But even when an aid agency operates in a low visibility capacity, Oxfam's Heather Hughes says the nature of humanitarian work means safety can never be guaranteed.
We like to be able to sort of identify what the risks are and then manage them to the extent that that's possible. But in any location that we work, we can't exclude risk altogether.
Whether it's in Afghanistan, Somalia or Sudan, where terrorists often target aid workers, or more recently in Pakistan. Rachel Smalley for VOA News, London.